In this short video, I'm going to showcase to you guys how you can make a few changes on your trade-based website to improve the way that you show up in search so that you get better conversions from better customers more frequently. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Matt from Tradie Web Guys here. Before we get started, please subscribe to this channel and get your notifications turned on so you don't miss out on more awesome content that we put out, specifically speaking to trade businesses from all over the world and how you can improve things in relation to your marketing. So in this short case study, I'm going to run through a project that we are about to launch for a building company located in Northwest Sydney. Now, when they came to us, they already had a good website, but what the website wasn't built for was search. It had clearly been built by a web designer and not a marketer. I've actually done a video specifically on that, which you can link to within this post. Look down below there and you can see it. Go check that out because I dive a little bit more deeper into that dynamic. However, what I do want to say to you guys in relation to this case study is if your website looks great, but it's not getting you the results, it's probably likely to the fact that there are things missing on it from a marketing perspective, which you need to incorporate for that to become a reality. And this project case study was an example of that. So these people came to us because of that exact reason. They weren't getting the results they wanted from their website, which is pretty common complaint, I suppose. The other common complaint that we often get is people getting a lot of results from, or a lot of inquiries from websites, but they're poor quality leads. We'll touch on that a little bit as well. These guys essentially wanted to dial up the amount of work they were getting. They have a very well-established business, which has a couple of divisions actually, and they wanted to really double down on this one. They wanted to get more inbound leads coming from the area in which they operate, and their existing website didn't actually serve that purpose because it was very general. After a bit of research and analysis on their existing assets, we found out that the area in which they lived in was actually quite a great place to plant their flag as the expert. And so when we went and rebuilt their website, which was the first part of an ongoing SEO strategy, I will say, but we had to make sure that the foundations were laid correctly so the SEO would perform looking forward. And for you guys that aren't familiar with SEO, it's essentially a way that you can have your website show up when people are looking for it in search, not through paid traffic. So I'm just going to jump across to their existing website here. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad. From a visual perspective, they've got a lot of things on there which look pretty good. Even their navigation is structured quite well. But from the perspective of search, it hasn't been done properly. The content doesn't reflect where they're located. Quite frankly, a lot of the content on the website, it's almost like it's there for filler. There's just a lot of it. It's not specific enough, and it needed to be rewritten in order to make sure that it ticks boxes when it comes to what people are looking for in the search engines. This is quite a common thing that we see with websites that have been built by designers and not marketers. And it's an easy trap to fall into because sometimes you think more is good, but often less is more. I don't mean that by saying you shouldn't have any content on your website, but I mean sometimes we can strip a lot of the junk out and we can just have the real messaging there, and we can try and make the goal of people that are visiting the website is to make an inquiry or to click through to other pages so they can get more information or specifics on projects that's been completed and that kind of stuff, as opposed to just constantly reading, and then never actually doing anything about it. So as I said before, the website here looks pretty good. It's got some nice videos on there, and they've done, the business themselves have done a lot of good stuff in the space of creating relevant and collating relevant content. It just hasn't really been put together correctly on the website. You'll see it especially if we head across to the service pages, like the messaging on the top of the page is missing. You don't want to have this. You don't want to have like the main attraction above the fold on your website. The first thing that someone sees when they jump onto this page on their mobile or their computer, a giant logo. Like no one cares about your logo. They want to see a clear, crisp message. And what does that actually portray to people that are visiting this site? As we scroll down, you'll see a lot of content on this page, and you'll probably be glazing over here because it's boring. And quite frankly, it is boring. I can't imagine anyone would read this. And so, although it's good that they've got content, it's bad in the sense that no one's going to read this. The formatting's terrible. It hasn't been broken up with any images. They have used, I suppose, some strange indentation here with a lot of weird white space around it, but it just doesn't look great. I'm going to head across now to the website that we are about to launch for this client as part of, as I mentioned, the first stage of their marketing program. And you'll notice that the content has been broken up and has been created in a way and has been formatted in a way which also has things like photos, and it's got little logos, and it's got some cool little features where, you know, the text drags in as you saw there. We've got video, which is breaking up the page, rotating banners, little bits of content here, again, with images underneath and tabs that link to different things and photos. So it's a lot easier on the eye, and it's a lot easier to consume as a visitor. The other thing is, when we head across here to a web page, you'll also see that the page itself has been rewritten, and by doing so, we've been able to reduce the amount of content on the page, but make it more specific to what people are looking for. Yes, there's a lot of content on there. There's nice videos here, which we'll be able to put on because people do like to consume videos. And typically speaking, it's good to have a video at the top of the page, because if people do want to watch it, they don't have to scroll too far to do that. So the video sits at the top of the page. There's call to actions here. There's photographs, there's content, there's bullet points. And you'll see it's just a lot easier on the eye and a lot easier to read. So this is one example, and there's a nice call to action at the bottom, and so on and so forth. I suppose my goal for you guys is to be able to go back to your website and just say, and have a look at it and think, okay, well, what could we possibly do here which is going to serve our visitors more? It's often a case of, and if you're glazing over on your own website, that's a pretty good example of things that need to change. And while we're on that topic, things should always change. A website should never be a static thing that you have just because your competitors have got it. Like you need to treat your website as your marketing launchpad. And if you do that and you invest in that strategy and you treat your website as a place where you can showcase your expertise and you can show off the work you've done, you will notice that your inquiries and the conversations that you start having with your inquiries are far better, and they're far more qualified because they've seen the content, they know, like, and trust you more, and they're more willing to engage and go to that next step, which hopefully is you being able to get in front of them and do some sort of presentation or send out a quote or a bid or proposal. We see this works all over the world. We've got clients in all over the planet, in major cities as well. And these are things that really do work well for them. So no question it will work well for you. Guys, if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to have a chat about how this might specifically apply to your business, head across to tradiewebguys.com.au, and we look forward to having a chat. By the way, stay tuned for upcoming content. We're doing a lot of this stuff, and we can't wait to share the next one with you. So once again, make sure you subscribe and get your notifications on. Ciao.